Happy Wednesday, Amy. We're
Happy
gonna do
Wednesday.
our Wonder Woman sign.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so good to see you here. Last week we didn't get to do our live. It was my fault because we had a power outage, a whole regional network outage. It was out for quite some time, like almost half a day. And I was really missing it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like, if we don't get together for 1 week, I feel like my cells and my soul are kind of like missing that
Oh,
nourishment.
I miss,
I
I miss
know.
the,
Yeah.
sometimes the universe sends us like a sign to take a break. So maybe it was, we have to listen to divine timing for sure.
I know. Yeah, I think it was up to the universe to decide, right? We're gonna give this whole city a network
Yeah.
disconnection today, so all of you can take a break. That's
Well,
the way I see it.
because Jean would never normally take a break. She needs the universe to like totally shut her down. And then she
I
was
do take
like,
breaks. Okay, I do take breaks.
take a break. Yeah.
I know it's funny, yeah, that a lot of people get the impression that like I'm a workaholic. My husband says the same too. But actually I do take breaks. It's just that people probably don't see it. But anyways, today we have a very, very interesting, a very juicy, extra juicy topic.
It
You
is
know,
juicy.
it's so juicy because I think it's very applicable to a lot of people right now. And I think in the last call we mentioned that quite a lot of people going through like
Mm.
relationship like situations right now, whether if it's like some hardship or like breakups and things like that, especially breakups. I don't know. I don't know why. Usually towards the end of the year or the beginning of the year, I do see a lot of breakups. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if Amy, if you have some personal
Yeah.
experiences or you encounter that. I know that this.
I did actually. I broke up last November with a long-term partner of mine. So that
Oh,
happened. I mean, I also know people who are struggling, personally, and I know myself. I'm doing a lot of work on my, let's say, relationship with myself too, and there's some conflict there. So I think it might just be it's a time of the year to reflect.
mm,
And people, because of being the end of the year, people start to, I'd say, panic. What have I achieved this year? Have I achieved my goals? Am I happy? And then, a lot of the time when we think that the person that we're in a relationship with is responsible for our happiness, we might start to question whether or not we should stay with that person. But I think it's just a time where people start to like have that panic feeling of, oh, it's the end of the year. Like, what have I got from this year, and how am I moving forward into next year? So
right, right. I think, yeah, I think a lot of people do go through that, right? Like trying to draw some conclusions or, summary of what have we achieved. And I mean, we're talking about relationship right here. And also, oh, what's next year gonna be like for us? What is our plan, right? That could potentially, stir up some, you know,
yeah.
sensitive topics, like if two people are not really on the same page, right? So today, Amy and I are going to be talking about exes,
Yeah.
but in particular, talking about should you try to get back with your ex? So in the creator's language, should you try to manifest your ex back? Dun, dun. Finally, we're
So
touching on this topic.
Master always says that no matter how many videos he makes that are titled "How to Get Your Ex Back," people still want more. And
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a what do I want to say? I almost sort of face palm a little bit every time I see how people trying to get their ex back, because when we sort of my first thing that I have to say about this from a law of attraction perspective is that the second you feel any kind of need to get your ex back, it's it's very unlikely that you will easily succeed at this, because there's that neediness, and we've talked about this in a previous video. And neediness from a law of attraction perspective is when I say repulsive, I don't mean that you're disgusting, but it
The desperate energy, right?
energetically going like this so if every action is an equal and opposite reaction, when you're trying to get something, it's like, whoa, I need to get away from you. It's just not whether, you know, it's just an energetic thing. So the opposite is if you actually have decided, and we can get to the reasons why you may not want to decide to try and get your ex back emotionally soon, but if you have decided you actually want to get your ex back, then feeling any kind of need to get your ex back is not the way to do it. The way to do it is literally you 100% must feel that you don't care. You actually don't care that whether or not you get your ex back, and then you literally just focus on you and you come into your own rather than focusing on people outside of you, and then you become magnetic. So I'm going to hand over to Jing.
Right. I really agree. So I'm just trying to see if anyone left us any comments here, because we really love to hear from everybody who's watching right now. Like, you know, we want to hear your answer to should you get back with your ex? Like, should you manifest your ex back? Yes or no, right? You can comment. And I believe probably some of our female creators or male creators are in the process of trying to get back with their ex, right? And like, you know, Amy and I each have our own experience with that, and Amy just expressed her views, and I love that. And I actually 100% agree with what she just said, that the minute you thought about it, there's that desperation, that neediness energy, because I personally have experienced that, like seriously.
I have to.
Yes, we all been there, right? And in my experience, it didn't work. I actually tried consciously, consciously 100% try to manifest. I actually use law of attraction to manifesting back all that vision board, the list, the scripting. I tried everything, but the one thing that was missing, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work when, like Amy said, when you are not thinking about it. Like Master always says that, set it and forget it, right? But the thing is, when you just broke up with someone, you know, you're still so emotionally attached to everything, to the whole situation. You're still very emotionally invested in the whole situation. There's no way that you're emotionally detached from the whole result of it, right? The result is that you want a happy ending, like be together with this person still, but energetically you're still very attached. Then you know, the more you're attached, the more, you know, that object or the subject of your attraction is actually, you know, what's the word, chased away, right? I'm trying to think of that science word there, you know.
Repelled.
Exactly, repelled, like the magnets, right? The more it's repelled from you, right? Because that energy of yours is actually, it's not love anymore, right? You know, they always say that if you love that person, then you should just let this person go, right? You know, the good old corny saying you hear from all the romance, right? That's true, but you know, like we think this is still love, but it's energetically, it's actually an obsession. It's that neediness, and you know, another word could be like a bit of that codependency, which we mentioned in one of our previous episodes. So I went through exactly that, like every day when I was doing my affirmations and meditations and everything. My whole system was attached to the result. Like, I want to see myself together with this guy, all that. I was crying. I was, for 2 whole weeks. I remember 2 whole weeks, my whole system was so strong, so intense on like wanting to be back with this guy. And I could not focus on other areas in my life. So as a result, you know, I did not, you know, manifest this guy. Okay, in my case, it was a guy. Okay, all genders inclusive here, right? So, you know, I did not manifest this guy back into my life. And, you know, I was actually kind of blaming the law of attraction at the time. Like, this doesn't work. How could it not work? I managed to manifest other things. How come for this big thing I wanted, it didn't, you know, happen? It was only until years later when I truly understand what is, you know, law of attraction, then I realized that, okay, you know, the emotions, your emotions, you know, are the biggest, like, what do you call, the push, right? The vibrations, whatever that you want to manifest, it is the vibration that really matters, the emotions behind it. I realized my emotions at that time were not like the true love, compassion, love and joy, peace emotions. I was not peaceful. I was stressed all the time, right? So that's why we are here to invite everyone to take a step back and also observe your energy right now and your emotion at this moment. If you're, if you're trying to get back with your ex, if you're trying to manifest your ex back, just observe your emotions. Like honestly, be really honest with yourself. What is your emotions? What are your emotions right now? Is it really love, joy, and peace? Whether if I do end up with this guy or a girl, whether if we're gonna be back together or not, I'm okay with it. Are you at that stage where you can say you're okay if you are
Right.
not back together? Great. So back to Amy.
So this is the thing, and this is why, as Jean was saying, we need to be super honest with ourselves, because my over the years, my awareness of the games that the ego plays has grown, and it's very, very funny and sneaky. So, for example, you're listening. Let's say you're listening to a video which is telling you need to set it and forget it, right? You need to set your intention to get your ex back and then forget about it. But what tends to happen? This is why I said that the second that there's any feeling of need to get your ex back, you're kind of screwed. Excuse me, hear me out. Because what your ego then does is like, okay, I'm going to forget it, but it doesn't really forget it. It's like, I'm going to forget it so that I can get my ex back, because I still need my ex back. So I'm going to play the game of forgetting it. I've totally forgotten about it, but is he coming back? Yeah, I've got to check my phone. Is he coming back? Is he coming back? Right? Then we think about, okay, so I need to make myself more important, right? So you're not really forgotten about it. You've forgotten about it, pretended to forget about it in the purpose of trying to get your ex back, and you're still feeling that need.
Right.
Then the next level is, okay, I'm going to focus on myself, because I hear that if I focus on myself, it will work and I'll get my ex back. So I'm going to focus on myself because I need to get my ex back. So here I am focusing on myself. Is he coming yet? Okay, I'm focusing on myself. Is he coming yet? Why the hell isn't he coming yet? I'm focusing on myself. I forgot it. Where is he? Right? See what's happened. The ego is so funny and sneaky, and we have to laugh at ourselves, because it's like, I need to do this, and then I'll get my ex back. So I'm going to play the game of doing this, but you're not actually letting go of the need. You're not actually truly focusing on yourself. This is why really the only way that you'll like probably get your ex back, and this has happened to me, is when I actually genuinely didn't need or want them back.
Right.
And then they felt like, hang on, why doesn't she want me back? What's wrong with me? Maybe I need her back. And then they both came back to me, like both of my most recent exes, and I was like, well, this would be super helpful for someone else. I have 2 exes right here if you guys want them, because you're all trying to get your ex back, but I actually don't need or want them back. So really, this is the only way to get your ex back, is to genuinely 100%, not with the purpose of trying to get them back, focus on yourself and not need them back. Yeah. No tricks with the ego, and you've got to really watch yourself and laugh about it with that. The reason being is we were talking about that, is energetically neediness is repulsive. Mm-hmm. If we're truly honest with ourselves, I'm being gentle on you here. Neediness anyway is emotionally repulsive. If someone comes up to you right now in the streets and like, I need to be with you, down on their knees, I really need you and want you. Please be my girlfriend or boyfriend or partner. Please, I really need you. Like, what would your response be? Like, okay. Yeah. I mean, there's the side of like pity, but like, would we actually feel like, because what's energetically happened there is this person has gone, I'm below you and you're above me, and you're looking down, hell yeah, I'm above you and I can get better, and it's this weird relationship of like, yeah, I don't have this person, I need them and want them because I am below them and they are above me. And the dynamic of that is that they'll always be above you and you'll always try to chase them, and then they'll always be above you and away from you and kind of moving away from you no matter how hard you try. Right. It comes from this position of lack, and lack mindset, we know this, never really gets us what we want. No. So the final thing I just say before passing over to Jane is that really, and this is why everyone says it, you truly need to say, okay, I broke up with this person, but I'm actually going to focus on myself. I'm going to take this time to focus on myself, figure out, is there anything in me that feels like a sense of lack, that I don't deserve love, that I'm unworthy, that kind of thing. Do the work on yourself emotionally. Literally, I've watched over the years a lot of my friends who have just gone through these periods of time where like, I don't want a guy anymore, or I don't want a girl anymore. I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to get
Mm.
myself fit. I'm going to sort my life out. And they do a lot, and they become like really super attractive. And without fail, when they've done this, 100%, not with the goal and the agenda of trying to get them
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
They've always manifested like a beautiful relationship that was perfect for them because they were focused on themselves. So they were magnetic, right? Rather than being repulsive.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I've seen a lot of cases myself, and also I've been there myself too. When you just forget about, like, as in, like, I'm not gonna think about, like, the next relationship or how to fix this relationship that's already finished, right? And then really, like, really, really bring the focus back to yourself, not for the sake of, like attracting the ex-partner back, or for attracting a new partner, because that never works if you're doing it for like that motive, right? It's not genuine. And while we're talking, we actually had someone who commented.
You can't lie to energy, right? Energy will see straight through you. If it sees,
we gotta be honest. We can't lie to the universe, basically. Yeah. Universe senses it all. So while we're talking, right, we have Sumiti Singh. She asked a question: what do you do if you got your ex back, but it's not the relationship I wanted? I want the relationship to turn into marriage, but he is not sure if he loves me. And right now, I'm not sure about wanting him anymore because his behavior hurts me. Can you please guide me?
This is literally like the next thing that I was going to say, but I was handing it over to G.
Oh, perfect. All right, now.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was going to say. So emotion, if you want to like get to the point, genuinely get to the point where you don't want or need your ex back, so that then you can get them back, is to realize that, let's say you got them back, right? Some miracle happened, energetically, you managed to get them back. If you haven't done any work on yourself or evolved in any way, nothing will have changed in that relationship. And you'll get exactly the same as what you got before, which failed. So you're just going to get more failure in the relationship. Now, there are reasons that we wouldn't want to maybe get our ex back. Is like what I've noticed with my past couple of long-term relationships is that, like, when I met them, I was here. Okay, my self-esteem was here, my feeling of self-worth was here. And then through the relationship, you work with someone intimately, and it's like a mirror to you, and all of your stuff comes up, and you trigger each other, and blah, 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 and you grow. You kind of grow together. It's painful sometimes, but you do grow and evolve together. So what I noticed was I was here when I was with my ex, and then by the end of the relationship, I was a completely different person. My self-worth had changed, my self-esteem had changed. And so to try and put myself back in that place when I want to always move forward in my life, it wouldn't resonate anymore. I'd go back into the dynamic of being treated in a way that I no longer resonated with anymore. When I first met them, I was like, well, this person's the best, and any attention they give me is like amazing. And by the end of it, I was like, actually, maybe I kind of deserve something even more pure and more beautiful. So to put myself back in that relationship, which was based on like a neediness, and one person had more power than the other, it just felt wrong. So you can just sort of say, okay, I learned and growed a lot with this person. Now we've just ended it. It doesn't mean, as we were saying with the breakup, it doesn't mean anything about me. The relationship just no longer was aligned anymore. It doesn't mean that I'm lacking or wrong or bad, or that no one wants to be with me, or I'm unworthy, or I did something wrong. It just literally was just time for us to part for now. Maybe it'll come back in the future, but for now, it's over. And I accept that and move on. And that's how we can come to that, because then what can actually happen is you can actually go your separate ways. This has happened to me before. And then you kind of forget about each other, find each other again. You're both completely different people. You're both so much more conscious and awakened, and more open, emotionally open, and available to actually give true love. And then it can actually work and can be different. But if you fight with it and try to fight to get them back, nothing will have really changed.
I 100% agree with that. And actually, I was going to mention that there are people, right? I mean, there are a lot of cases where people get back together for some reason after a period of time, after even, let's say, months or years. But then usually what I have seen in those cases is because those two people really don't think about each other during the time when they're apart. They really have moved on in their lives. And I really trust the universe. If you trust the universe, you know that the universe always has some kind of mysterious plan for everybody that, like what Amy just said, when two people have evolved, you've spent some time together, something is not aligned, you're not meant to be together. So what's that, the uncoupling, a conscious uncoupling,
Conscious uncoupling, yeah.
conscious uncoupling happens. So you two have gone your separate ways, you gone on your separate path to evolve and grow yourself and seen as the other person. And then at some divine time, I think it's always some divine time, you probably meet again as like brand new people. You're not the same person, like he or she, is not the same person anymore. And if everything aligns, if you two are still aligned at this time, at this time in life, then it's probably a sign, or like everything will just work out that you're meant to be
Yeah.
together. Right. And
I
I've
think
seen that in a lot of people, actually. That's when
it's
you don't try.
it's what was the person who asked the question's name again?
Sumidi, I think.
Yeah.
Sumidi, that's how you say name.
Yes, Sumini. So it's like what could have happened is that you sound like you're much more emotionally open than perhaps your ex. And this is no judgment for your ex, but let's say their emotional availability is kind of here, and your emotional availability is much more open. So what you don't want, you want a relationship to be a partnership, right? You don't want to ever feel like you're kind of dragging the other one along, like you're their parent or you're their teacher. You've got to kind of take care of them. Like the ideal relationship is one in which you're on a level, pretty much, in your growth path, in your soul path, and you can move together and grow together. Otherwise, it's going to feel like your momentum is going to be dragged behind. It's going to affect other areas of your life too. Maybe you want to do something with your life, and this person's like, totally unmotivated, that kind of thing, and just dragging you back. You want to find someone who is aligned with you emotionally, and it sounds like you've got this desire to open up and give more of yourself to a relationship, whereas this person doesn't, and that's no judgment on them. There's just some things that they need to learn and go through in their lives, and they will before they can get to that point.
Right, so, totally. Yeah, so I think thank you, Samidi, for being so open and sharing details about what's happening in the relationship. And also, I just want to add to that is like after you got back with your ex, and sounds like he's not on the same page as you, whereas he doesn't want to get married, or he doesn't want to turn this relationship into marriage, which is what you want, right? I suppose that's what you want, and he doesn't want that. Then I see that there's that sort of like there's a difference there, right? So something is still not quite aligned. And this is where you probably shouldn't force things to happen. And you do have to give yourself the power to recognize that, we don't want the same thing, we're not on the same page. And if we just keep going like this, well, I'm not trying to give you relationship advice, by the way, but the decision is yours. Amy and I are here sharing our personal experiences and of course suggestions, okay, but at the end of the day the decision is yours. But I do suggest you to take the power back into your hands. And just because this is not the other person wants, it does not mean that okay, you have to go along with it, especially when you mention that his behavior is hurting you. A lot of things that he does is not what you want anymore, and you have to stand up for yourself and make that decision and create a new path for yourself. Right. And a lot of times when people like got back with their ex, they realize that it doesn't feel the same anymore. I thought that when we got back, everything would be like, perfect. Everything would be back to before or normal, whatever normal was. Right. But then I have heard from, like myself, I don't have any of that experience because I never got back with any ex. So, but I know that from a lot of my friends' situation that things just got worse after they got back because there's an expectation. I think when two people like for some reason try to get back together or got back together like after a short period of time, there's a lot of forcing there, and also there's a lot of expectations there, right? Expectations of how to work this relationship or how it should be. So it could be a lot of those things. And so I think to be honest, if you were to ask us to give you advice, I would say that it's a good time for you to take a break actually, and to really be firm with what you want, and be firm with exactly what you want out of a relationship, and you will attract the right person into your life who will want the same thing as you. Okay. And that's speaking from experience because I have been with a guy for many, many years and he never wanted any marriage. He didn't want to turn the relationship into marriage. And for me, I know a lot of people out there who are not into marriage in that way, but I know that back then, this was more than 10 years ago, I really wanted to have, to settle down with someone and be someone's wife and, be a mom, right? So that was my goal out of a relationship, but it was not what he wanted. So I was basically kind of like what Amy was saying, that I was here and I was at I was a different person. I was kind of like begging, chasing, needing this person's love. It did become kind of a power play, right? But
Yeah.
this person always up here seemingly, providing the love and the care, the attention for me, but actually ultimately does not give me what I want, out of a relationship. So like the definition of love in many ways was actually kind of twisted. Okay.
Yeah.
So eventually after many years, I stood up for myself and then I decided that, it's time to wake up, and really like, show up as who I am and really speak up what I want. Right.
Yeah,
I never spoke
exactly.
up about it. So that's why I'm very strong when I see like women, especially women going through situations like this, where you kind of tiptoeing around issues that matter to you, but then they kind of like are dismissed by the other half. I'm just like, come on, girl, you gotta stand up,
Yeah.
You're gonna create a relationship that's right for you. Now chase the relationship that's supposed to be for you, because if you give the power to the other person, it's like, you're always going to be waiting and begging. So that's just me being raw there for like 2 seconds.
No, it is so true. And as Jean was speaking, I kind of got this image. If we're going to carry on with that like metaphor of like the needy, like the one here and the one here, but it subconsciously happens. So when you come in and you're needy, it automatically puts that person on the pedestal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're kind of on the pedestal, you have the security of being able to be in a position, and this sounds like possibly the dynamic that might have established at the moment energetically, is that this person who's here can get away with giving bare minimum of themselves to this person here because they know that person will stick around. So you kind of get the crumbs, right, of what, yeah, of this person, because when this dynamic is established, it's nothing judgmental about this person. It's kind of like an energetic, as we were saying, dynamic that's subconsciously established, is I want to give as little of myself to this person as I can in order, but still keep them around. Okay, this is just the energetic dynamic. So what will happen is that this person subconsciously has realized that you will stick around and they don't need to give you anything. Well, all that needs to happen, there's no dramatic reaction or anything like that, just to bring the alignment back together, is to stop needing anything from them. And this is terrifying because, and I can remember this feeling. The feeling is if I suddenly go to the person that I'm with and say, hey, I actually, this might be something that you would consider saying to your partner, hey, I actually have a point in my life where I would really like to get married. I have a suspicion that perhaps maybe this is not something that you want, or it may be something that you want. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to push you into it. So maybe we just need to sit down and have a conversation as if we're still on the same page here. Mm-hmm. And I've said it to them with no neediness whatsoever. This is what I want. From a place of this is what I actually feel I deserve, because you do. I don't need it from you. If you're willing to give it to me, great. If not, fine. And we have a terrified fear of having this conversation because the inner child in us is like saying, no, if I ask them that, they're just going to leave me. Maybe not, right? But wouldn't it be better to know rather than living in fear of it? If we have this conversation with them, maybe they'll leave us. But at the moment, there's kind of that fear that is like, I really want to say this, I really want this, which you are totally justified in wanting. This is what you want, this is what you deserve, own it. Simply just say, without any drama, with no emotion attached to this is what I actually want in my life right now. Is this something that you want? Can we talk about it? If not, okay, maybe we need to go our separate ways from now. No, and then it's done, and then we know, and then you're on a level with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just be honest with your feelings, and, you deserve, a lot of love. And if it's not this person that can give you what you want, when you need in a relationship, then, there's going to be another person. There's going to be someone better out there. But of course, I understand that it takes time to train to train your emotional strength, right? Your emotional
Yeah.
confidence to get to the level where you are able to communicate your feelings and be able to confront. Okay, don't use the word confront, or to communicate that
Communicate.
message, to communicate what you want your feelings to your partner without feeling any fear, right? The fear of, oh, the potential of losing you if it's not what you want, and all these things, right? um like they always say that, I know everybody probably goes through this, that, oh, I feel like you're probably the only person that can ever makes me happy. I don't think I'll ever find another person like you. That kind of like, what is a scarcity mindset, right? You're
Yeah.
like the only one. But we have a saying that, there's a forest out there for you. Don't hang yourself up on one tree, right? Or there's like, what's another saying? So many stars in the planet, in the galaxy.
Yeah, fish in the sea, all of that. I
Fish in
think
the sea.
it's interesting. Like the ego, I was noticing while Jim was speaking, is that this we seem to be very aligned right now. So kind of like reading each other's minds. Is the ego for some reason feels like it needs to win everyone over, right? So let's say you're getting on with your life, and in the world, how many billions of people are there in the world? And let's say, like, I don't know how many billions or trillions of people in the world who don't think that you're the greatest person ever, and who aren't in love with you, right? And we don't care about them. And then there's that one person in our field of awareness that we feel like we need to win. And if we can win them, then we're validated and we're worthy and deserving of love. If I could just win that person over, think about all the billions of people in the world. What we're going to try and do? Get them all to fall in love with us and want to marry us? We can't possibly do that. So why is this one person so important? It's because the ego just feel that need to prove itself by winning this person over. If you lined up, I think it's a male in this scenario. If you lined up 1,000 men, let's say 1,000 men, and 999 of them got down on their knees and said, "What's her name? Sunita."
Sumiti, I think Sumiti.
Sumiti, right? 999 men got down on their knees and goes, "I love you so much and I want to marry you." Okay. You'll be like, whatever. Why don't this one person, why aren't you getting down on knees and you don't want to marry me? What's wrong with me? It's
Right.
so funny that we do this. So we focus on the one person that doesn't want to be with us, and we just completely like block out all the people that don't, because the ego is really kind of terrified that it needs to prove itself, and constantly be proving that it's worthy. And so we'll focus on that one person that's hinting at the idea that we're not worthy. We might not even be that. It's just simply not aligned. You guys, maybe just simply your soul paths are not in alignment anymore. It's nothing personal.
Right, absolutely. While you're talking, I just saw a comment from Sumiti. Right, thank you for staying on with us, Sumiti. And she explains a bit about she's been together with her back together ex for 8 years, and they broke up for 9 months and got back together. And it sounds like they don't really want the same thing. He wants to make a lot of money, but she said, we're having enough money. It's time to settle down. She wants money and all that. I mean, I'm sorry, she wants family and love, but he wants money. So, but it sounds like Sumiti has some answers there. That's great. But also, I want to tell you that, sometimes, especially for women, we do try to assess a situation based on the length of a relationship. Like, oh, we've been together for so long, 10 years and 12 years. I want something out of this, because otherwise you feel like it's a waste, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen, actually, I've never experienced something that long. Like for me, the longest was about 4 years, actually.
Yeah,
But like I have, right. So like in my, terms, like 4 years was quite long being with someone who didn't want the same thing. And, and I have seen in my friends that, like one of my good girlfriends, before she got married with her husband, her husband was with his ex-girlfriend for like 12 years. They were together for 12 years, but somehow it just didn't work out into, like whatever they both wanted, right? But he met her for, I think they only met for like less than a year and then got married. Right. So, I was just kind of like looking at the situation like, wow, what, like they were actually okay with it. They were none of them were like, oh, we're together, we're invested, emotionally with each other for so long, after decades, and no like so-called happy ending that come out of it. Like was other ways we could have gone and do something else. But don't look at everything like as a waste, because those years are really your experience with this person. And those years are really, you see it as an assignment from the universe, right? To test you, to strengthen you, to grow you. So you've grown, you evolved a lot after this 8 years, right? You say you've been with your ex for 8 years. Look at those 8 years. I'm sure there are a lot of good memories and there are a lot of lessons and experiences there. Our life keeps moving. We cannot hit the pause button and go, okay, stop it. I'm just gonna take some time to work on myself or to do something, and then I'm gonna like experience the life without mistakes. No, we have to keep the life does not stop. We have to keep living the life and keep making mistakes, or like keep, I don't want to use the word mistakes. Keep experiencing life. Whether if you label it good or bad or something else, it's all experiences. And don't look back. That's my advice. Don't look back and go, oh my God, all these years, it did not turn into marriage. What a waste. Don't think of it like that, right? Because you're actually just, you're actually putting yourself down. If you think of everything that you have done in the past 8 years as a waste, right? Give yourself a pat on the shoulder and tell yourself that you've grown stronger from there. And now you have actually identified, something's not aligned here, like I can do something about it, right? Then like, keeping yourself there and go on for another 8 years. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Don't assess everything based on the length. Okay. It's just what it is. Yeah. Back to you, Amy.
Did I just get kicked out?
Oh no, I think your profile photo popped up for 1 second. That's what it looked like on my end.
Oh, okay.
So weird. I know.
I was just like, hang on, what's happening? Right, anyway, so glad we're still on. So there was two things that came to my mind then when Jean was talking, and one of them was just as we were saying before, with the marriage. Okay, why? Maybe we need to ask ourselves. It's totally okay to want marriage and that validation and that people. But I also know people, and maybe Jean knows people who have been together for maybe longer than 8 years. And are totally fine without the marriage. It's absolutely fine to want the marriage, but maybe for the right reasons. Is that, that's just generally something I actually want, or is it coming from like a place of neediness? I need to get him, I need to secure him, that sort of thing. So maybe that would be a question to ask yourself, because it is totally possible to be in a relationship, a loving relationship for your entire lives without the certificate and the validation.
Mm-hmm.
Check in and just see if it's coming from a pure place of just, I genuinely want this and there's no neediness there whatsoever to secure this person, to hold on to this person. Which brings me into my second point, is that just as I said to you earlier, and I think when we start to talk to women to empower them and say, you totally deserve what you want, right? Hey, get rid of the guy because he's not giving you what you want, right? And I do want to say to you again, you totally deserve happiness and to receive what you want in life. That's just truth. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, also, your partner does. So we can't ignore them. It's not an act of love to say, I deserve what I want, now give it to me. The act of love is to say, I deserve what I want in life, and you also deserve what you want in life. This person also deserves happiness. Mm-hmm. What they feel will give them happiness. Maybe they are in a place where they don't know what gives them happiness right now, and that's okay. They also deserve to have what they want in life heard as well. This is act of love. We don't want to try and just like force ourselves on people. We don't want to force people to give us things that we want. That's not coming from love. Just as much as you deserve what you want in life, so does your partner. And we have to sort of come to a place of being able to honor and respect that. That is actually true love, is to be able to do that for each other.
Totally. Yeah, I love what you just mentioned there, Amy. The other person also deserves love. And for the other person, maybe their definition of what true love or, like happy ending or whatever, like happy, healthy relationship is different to yours, right? So, wish them all the best and let them find it elsewhere, right? And perhaps for some people, like, they really don't want that marriage certificate. They just want like a long-term relationship. Actually, that wasn't my case. Actually, the person that I broke up with, he just wanted like a long-term girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. He didn't want any sort of like marriage. Okay, and then he didn't want any kids. Okay, well, for him, that is like the ultimate happiness. right?
Yeah,
So I had to like leave into and go, I'm sure that there are a lot of beautiful women out there who will want that with you, or one of them will want that with you
yeah,
one day, right? You know, because there are a lot of people out there who will want to agree with the same terms, right? On the same terms, but that is not me. You know, I want this and that for myself. So that's why we went separate ways. Just a little side note to that story. I heard he recently got married.
well, that's,
I
but
know.
that's
That's why I was like, that's interesting. People change, hey?
yeah, yeah. But it's also just not personal at the end of the day. It's that one person, right, out of 999. We don't need the whole world to love us and want to marry us. We just need the one person who's right.
Right, right.
Right, let's just say the entire world wanted to marry you, but like it won't necessarily make you feel happy. You'll feel like momentarily like I'm amazing, I must be amazing, and then you still won't necessarily have the right person for you. You just need that one person who you can grow together with, and then it's
Exactly.
really. I actually, one of my exes, I have to be careful what I say actually, because my ex and I are really good friends, and he's actually one of like the most supportive people of my recent business, and you know he's always watching my videos. So I have to be careful of
That's
like what
amazing. That's
yeah, but
amazing.
we become really close. And what was super interesting is this person reached out to me and to talk about, you know, what they wanted in life and they wanted to be happy. And when we've been together, I really wanted kids. But this is one of the reasons, probably the main reasons that I broke up is I felt like I wanted more children. And it was like a no from him, or it was just like I was constantly trying to force him to want it, and he was trying to force himself to want it because he didn't want to lose me. We went our separate ways. He came back to me and I said, you know, from a place of love and just, you know, friendship and acceptance of him, what do you want in life? Where do you see yourself? And you know, he explained, and I said, will you be on your own? He says, yeah, and you know, with no kids, you know, I'll be happy then. And it was actually a really beautiful thing to be say like, you deserve that. And I was no longer in a place of false love, of trying to
Mm-hmm.
force him
Mm-hmm.
to want something that he didn't actually want. And I was able to say, you totally deserve that. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right, I do. So it's just an interesting like Jean was just talking there. I've had that too.
Interesting dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're not like emotionally attached or involved with each other anymore, that is when
Yeah.
people see the picture more clearly and go,
We're
wow,
actually able to give true love when we're not
great.
acting out of the place of like trying to force ourselves on people. It's like yeah,
Right, right.
yeah, which is obviously
Absolutely.
not love. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. I really think that's beautiful, you know, when you're able to support each other, you know, on the very like strong platonic way, right? And that is when, you know, that actually reminds me of my parents. My parents got divorced like a long time ago, but after they got divorced, they were actually having better relationship with each other, in terms of
yeah,
like being together in a, like family, like real family, communicating with each other, wishing each other happy birthdays and talking about me, right? And I really like I really appreciate. I'm so grateful that happened.
yeah,
Because before that they were having this awkwardness in the marriage. Because something was not resolved. After it was resolved, when they finalized the divorce, they were really good. Like a lot of people were surprised that you know my parents was on such good terms, and it's really funny. We'll probably leave for another episode talking
yeah.
about that.
I mean, this maybe would be a good place to just start to tie up. Is
Hmm.
because when you look back on your relationship, one of the things that was mentioned is that I just wasted 8 years of my life. Now, what Jane was just mentioning there, and what came to my mind about my ex and our friendship now is like we both can look back and be like, we had a beautiful relationship. It really
Hmm.
was. It was so painful, but we both grew so much, and we both opened up so much emotionally. We both our self-esteems and our idea of like we actually deserve what we want in life grew massively. We
Right.
learned so much about each other, and we went through a heck of a lot of pain. It was one of those super painful relationships. The same with my son's father, you know, and that was a real destructive relationship. But both of these people, I consider them to be maybe two of the people that know me best in the world, because
Mm.
when you go through so much with someone, that you really get to know them. So when you can actually come to a place of actual love and friendship, it's really, really beautiful because like these people I could speak to now about things that I'm struggling with, and they would totally get me because we've grown together and we've just sort of opened up together and we've just gone through this, you know, beautiful sort of time of our lives together, which was painful,
Yes.
yeah, but we learned a lot about each other and about life. So you can't, I would never look back on either of those ones. And one of them, you know, was extremely painful, and the other was pretty painful. One was really destructive, but still, I really love and respect these people and feel very close to them.
Right. That's so beautiful. I love what you just said, about the different people give you different experience, right? Now when you're looking back, or what what you guys are going through currently, see it as an experience that has to happen, no matter how painful, how destructive it is at this moment, you know that it will be over, like the storm. Okay. While you're in the storm, I know it's hard to say that enjoy the storm, but you know that the storm is here for a necessary reason to grow
Exactly.
you. And like we mentioned this many times, right?
Yeah.
Relationships are an assignment from the universe. It's really there to test you. You're not gonna fail the test. It's not like what score you get from this test. It's not like that. It's just what experience that you're trying to get out of it, and also how you create it. Actually, you're co-creating this whole relationship with another person, so you have a lot of creation power in here. And now that, whatever decision that you guys are making, in your current situation, you're creating new opportunities for yourself. Okay. Or if you're creating to stay or to leave or something like that, right? We actually do want all of you to make that best decision for you with lots of love yourself. Okay. Lots of
Exactly.
love. Think about this, lots of love yourself. So, like, to wrap it up, I think Amy wrapped it up very perfectly. And any
Yeah.
final words we want to say to everybody before we conclude today's
Yeah.
episode?
I thought
It's a
that
big
was
one, I know.
I think it's just a nice place to end, at the end of the day, to look back and reflect on the relationship and come to a place of peace and detachment from it. It may work out, it may not. Maybe you'll split up, come back together. We just don't know, because at the end of the day, there's our physical lives and there's our path physically, and also there's our higher self, our soul path. We could, when we ask for love from the universe, we don't quite get it the way that the universe gets it. So sometimes when we ask for love, the universe hears us, and it's going to give us an experience that is going to suck. However, a painful relationship, one that ends and one that gives us some heartbreak. But by the end of it, you've grown emotionally, you're more open to actual love. So what could come next, which sounds like what happened for Jing's ex, is what that was just a transition in the soul path
Hmm.
into helping him find his partner and Jing find her perfect partner. It just, like, the universe always responds to us, but it doesn't always respond in the way that we expect or want at the time. But everything is always working out for you. You just got to trust it.
Definitely, definitely. And then don't chase it. Don't keep asking the universe when is gonna be here, when is gonna be here, right? The more you
Yeah.
ask, the more universe will get annoyed. Like, do you want it or not? Right?
Yeah.
If you wanna be patient, and I know we talked about this many times, and then many people ask me is like, how did I manifest my husband? Yes, I did use a vision board. I did use a quote or affirmation, but then the most important thing was I actually did set it and forget it. I was not consciously thinking about when I need to, find this perfect guy to get married and all that. I really kind of just like, this is like not really my priority. My priority is, like when I start building my business and I was
Yeah,
having so
you.
much fun, and joy, right? Working on myself and then doing this thing for myself. Like, like when you have a new project or something, it's your baby, right? It's where your passion, your heart is poured into, right? And that's part of you growing yourself too. So, that's something I want to tell you guys, like if you don't know how to shift the focus back to yourself, find yourself a project. Do something that you really enjoy doing that you cannot do when you're in a relationship. I'm sure everybody has something. That's something you're like, oh, when you're dating, when you're in a relationship, you have less time to do that thing. Whether it's like playing music, arts and craft, painting,
Yeah.
dancing, hiking, whatever it is. This is your time. When you are single, when you're like going through a breakup or recovering from it, you have a lot of time to do that. And then it feels amazing when you're able to create something for yourself, not for the sake of something else, just for the sake of loving yourself. And, and what's the
That's how
word?
it works. Setting it and actually forgetting it, not fake forgetting it with ego going, when's he coming, when's he coming, I'm focusing on myself, but setting it and actually forgetting it, and then you will manifest. So I
Okay.
think
I
Jing's
think
just been
my,
kicked off.
I think it's my camera. My camera decided to turn itself off. I
It's
think
like,
it's
we're
out
done.
of battery. I think it's out of battery. So we're going to, let me see if I can. Okay, I'm back. I just changed to my laptop camera. That's perfect time. I think it's universe telling us.
I think it's to focus on ourselves.
Yeah, it's time to focus on
Pick me up
ourselves.
enough.
I
It's like
know.
spotlight.
Yes,
Anyway,
yeah,
yeah.
I know. So, yes, thank you so much, Amy. Thank you, everybody, for another amazing week of Women's Wellness Wednesday, talking about this juicy topic. If you guys want to keep, discussing and participating in like relationship related wellness topics, do let us know what topics that you want to discuss, you want us to discuss, and we'll definitely, bring you guys the juiciest topic that can help everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Not useless topics like the Kardashians, for example. But we could turn it into something more educational too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Otherwise, we'll just choose. So let us
that,
know, or we'll just choose. Yeah, we'll just
yeah,
choose for you. Yeah, we want to
exactly.
hear from you.
I know. Yeah. So be sure to tune in live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. UK time for some, women's topics here. Okay. And anything you guys want us to talk about, do let us know, and we will do it. And also do catch the recap. You can catch the recap here inside the units. I put all our past video inside the units, so you can get a whole list of all the topics that we have gone through. And also on our YouTube, you can find Amy on the Amy Way on her YouTube channel, and also on my YouTube channel, Authentic Energy. We have all the recordings of all the episodes from the past on our YouTube channels as well, along with a lot of other amazing like yoga videos and motivation videos, personal development videos from Amy. And I do a lot of nutrition and weight management, body confidence videos on my channel. Yeah, and fitness videos on my
Some
channel.
badass workout videos, which I've done.
Badass workout. Oh, not as bad as yours.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank
And we'll
you.
see you guys next week for our WWW.
Have a good week.
Have a
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.